Hello, good morning. Today I want to talk about edge spacing in a raised bed. This is something that I have learned from the mistakes in the past. I always thought that I was planting effectively, the combination plantings or whatever, and I went ahead, and because I was thinking that the roots of the plant can use the soil on the other end, and this acts as a barrier, but they still have a lot of growing space to grow. I always, for straight 3 seasons, I planted, not understanding why certain plants are not doing very well, where the rest of the crops are doing, same crops are doing great. And after observing for 3 seasons, I finally understood that I'm planting too close to the raised bed. If you look at this pepper plant, it took quite some time. It's nice and good now, but it took a very long time to achieve to this state wherein the same plant that was planted in the same soil, eggplant, same family, has been thriving for the last 1 year. And one major reason is, look at the distance from the edge of the raised bed. That is about a foot of distance. I would say, depending on what plant you are planting, plant accordingly. Like if you are planting some greens, maybe you can go up to 6 inches, but again, this close is definitely not good. This is only about 2 inches maybe, and it's not really ideal example. I would ideal way to grow. I would say go at least about 6 inches, depending on what plants we are planting. How big the plant is going to get. So the root crops too, which are the smallest that we can think of, or even the herbs we can think of, I would say go ahead and plant at least 6 inches from the edge of the raised bed. And this has been a proven case in all of my raised beds. Anything that is too close, look at the pepper plant. It is doing okay now, but it took a very long time for it to come to this state, wherein the same pepper plants that are planted along with this plant were produced a lot, were thriving all through the season. Another reason, especially with the metal beds, because the metal gets too hot depending on where it is sitting in your yard, plant accordingly, because the metal beds are going to get too hot too quickly, and it's going to dry the edge of the raised bed very fast. Also, in many cases, we see that we have a lot of ants in the raised beds, and they usually are along the edges because they try to sit wherever the moisture is there, right? So we always see that the soil is continuously shrinking at the edge of the raised beds, in which case we have to keep providing that extra support of soil, extra support of nutrition for the plants that are totally at the edge of the raised beds. I would still say we can go ahead and plant them, but know what to plant, not the plants that are going to be as perennials, or not the plants that are going to go big. You can just plant some herbs that are annual, and maybe some root crops that are annuals again, but those have to be planted at least 6 inches away from the edge of the raised bed too. And I would say that is what has worked for me in the past, and definitely a very effective way to plant will be a minimum of 6 inches for the smallest of the crops. Thank you so much, and hope this video is helpful. And as I walk through my garden, I have so many examples to show, and I just was excited to show, like the pepper plant, which is about 1 feet away from the soil, was doing good, wherein in the same raised bed I had some dahlias, and I have planted some basils which were not doing very well. And it's the wrong plant to choose to plant at the edge of the raised bed. I just thought they'll flow down and they'll look pretty, but it really did not work. I again wouldn't say it wouldn't work at all, but it will definitely need a lot of support and a constant checking on that. Look at this hyacinth bean plant that I've planted too close to the raised bed. Yes, it is surviving, but has never been a great producer, or is always constantly struggling. For me, because I wanted the seeds from this plant, I've been struggling to keep this plant nice and healthy, and it is very disease prone because it's definitely not a stronger plant, provided where it is planted. And so I really hope this video is truly helpful. Edge spacing matters a lot, so be thoughtful on where we are planting. Thank you so much again. Now This time it's a bye-bye.